I've already explained my hypothesis about what the parasite-type Nighteba machine combinations are. But if you want a very fast summary, the machines before that have been contaminated by those Nightebas, they were simply just some machines with a dedicated artificial algorithm that was meant for like some specific task. Not that intelligent or like self-conscious or anything like that. It's like quite not so advanced like artificial intelligence on those machines. That was meant for like one single task, as I explained. And then with the quantum brain limiter released from the Matter Sphere when she disconnected from the network, there was a surge of energy or data that corrupted a lot of the machines and drones and droids that we see throughout the game. Like the red ones, for example, in the wasteland as well as the desert area are corrupted droids and drones that we, you know, should kill and, you know, not help exactly. Those are the ones also that we see these Nightebas controlling here. And the parasite Nightebas, I mean, they are literally just, well, to my understanding, they are clinging onto the machines that have gone AWOL and are just off the program and have become like deviant type machines that attack nigh anything on site. Specifically maybe Andro Eidos members or organic life forms or whatever, you know. And then the Nightebas are just like clinging onto them because they are like parasitic Nightebas, kind of like the skull crawlers that we see like in Matrix 11 area or whatnot. So that's like in short like what those are. But then there's some more special ones, connections, like Belial, for example. And Belial is
There's no end in sight. Will we be okay?
It was sealed off, so it'll probably be safer than other routes.
I think Belial might just simply be a case of Digger. Belial is simply
What's up? Is
a
something wrong?
bit smarter artificial intelligence that has experienced a lot more... I say it has somewhat experienced more of a cognitive evolution or revolution in its evolution compared to the other machine life forms, or most of them anyway. Same goes for like Karakuri that we meet also in the orbital elevator. Like that life form is also significantly more smarter because of that same exact thing as Belial, really. Just some kind of like revolution in how they perceive like knowledge exactly. So they have become kind of like they have become more like influenceable, I suppose you could say. And they have gone off the program to make their own decisions and notice their own like sentient existence to some extent. Because Belial, for example, is able to feel sensations like such as fear, which is something that none of the other Nightebas are able to acknowledge. So I wonder if that fear part is because of the fleshy part, the Nighteba part of Belial, or if that's the part of Belial that is the machine part. That I am not entirely sure of. Which part does that for Belial and the Karakuri. But for the normal machine Nightebas like these ones here, that is definitely the machine's AI algorithm part that has gone AWOL. That is the one controlling how these machines and what these machines do here, like those ones. But Belial and Karakuri are different than from that one, from those normal like droids. Those I cannot fully explain. It's not really explained exactly anywhere. Like even if I go here on Databank and I look at the Nightebas and I pull out Belial exactly, wherever he might be, yeah. Orca Aerospace Company Belial type droid is a flagship combat robot featuring overwhelming maneuverability, super defense, and state-of-the-art AI. It served as the sword of humanity on the battlefield. However, after being abandoned and forgotten among the rotting Nighteba corpses, Belial, contaminated in rage and hatred, rose again as an unrecognizable bastardization of its former self, a demon-like Nighteba. So this kind of coexists with what I exactly just said. Like Belial's like intent like what the machine was made to do, was simply just a step above with its artificial intelligence algorithm that was given to it to be a superb combat unit that it needed to be, that it was designed for. So that is probably the reason as to why, when the quantum brain limiter was released from the Matter Sphere, that's probably the reason as to why it gained a heightened sensation of like consciousness compared to like these more normal droids here, you know? Is literally just because of the model. It might just be simply that and nothing more. Anyway. Let's go ask him. Yeah, this is horrid. I'm never gonna be good at this, by the way, till the end of the game, I swear. Those white things are just heals, I think. Are they? No, there's some gold as well, I think. I can't see. Oh. Controlling this is ridiculously hard, by the way.
Huh? There's... That was close. Lily, you're behind me, right?
Can we please slow down?
No.
What is that?
That's Belial, who is in denial. Let's do it last second. Oh, never mind. It speeds up? Why does it even speed up? I didn't know that. Wait, what is going on?
That?
Oh, it just cuts back low.
Watch out!
I did not know the QT event speeds up at the end. Hi. I kinda wish there was a variety there where we fuck up the QT event, but the fight still continues here. That would be funny. Alright then. He spends way too much of his time just on range versus me. I have so much time to just fucking fire an absolute buttload of a volley
Ran away.
of range
I
attacks.
think we should take a break for a bit.
I don't know what that was. Screen scrolled for a moment there. I really wish that the puzzles in this game, as well as the parkour-like sections and the platforming sections, were actually more difficult. I really do. Like, actually, I do. I feel like sections like this hyperdrive, they are really cool, but I feel like I can't just help but like think back to like some older games from like the 2000s that had a lot of these like gimmicky mini games and like these very like over the top sections in games that were just like absolutely like awe-inspiring to experience in the game, that like gave up like big spins on how the gameplay was you know, from time to time. Like, I can't help but just compare, like, these hypertube sections to those kinds of games that I played in the past. Like, games like, you know, older Ratchet and Clanks and, like, Sly Coopers and Jack and Daxters and those kinds of games that I played as a kid. And when they have, like, these kinds of, like, sections, they are genuinely hard even at times. They are, like, harder than actual, like, combat sections a lot of the time, even. So, like, I kind of have, like, that's kind of my expectation from my childhood of playing those games, that these kinds of, like, very gimmicky, like, flashy, like, puzzle areas or, like, platforming sections in games are supposed to be. Like, that's the difficulty that I expect them to be. But nowadays, when games play it so safe, like, even when I fucked up the QT event there, it didn't start up the entire hyperdrive, like, run again or anything. It just went back in time to the moment and let me just do it again, you know? I didn't even lose health from it, you know? Like, it's just so safe. I hate it. I fucking hate it so much how safe it is. Like, are games just not allowed to be punishing anymore?
It's a supply camp.
Are the gamers, or is the developers' understanding of the gamers who play their games nowadays that they are so sensitive to everything that you can't add challenge anymore? At least in the AAA space. Orkateki. Yeah, I'm gonna give a good example also on this hypertube. So, why is that white on the end? They need to render that. Anyway, if I fuck up the QT event, sorry, if I fuck up that QT event, why does it just go back in time and let me do the QT event again? Why won't there simply be a cutscene or a continuation of that, like, screenplay there with Belial, where it continues from the moment where I fucked up the QT, and then we land here, but I take damage, let's say, because I fucked up the QT event, so I take damage from this moment to the boss fight. So that's the punishment for fucking up the QT, you know? You take, like, some damage before the fight begins, as one example. They could have just made it like that. But for some reason, they just made it, like, you know, go back in time fully, and then, like, continue that loop until the player succeeds, is my guess, is what would have happened if I fucked it up, like, again and again and again, whatever, you know? Like, if you have it be so that the player can't, like, fuck it up anyway, and it doesn't really matter that much, then why not just add more variety to it? Let the player lose some HP and just, like, live with their consequences a bit, you know? Because they fucked up the QT, so they deserve to start the fight with less HP than normal. Like, that would be, like, a nice compromise, to be honest. One of many examples that I can think when it comes to, like, this more, like, safer, like, game-like punishment mechanics nowadays. They are just not the same. Although there is one thing that I'm absolutely on board with when it comes to nowadays games. Like, especially, like, AAA and AA games do this usually really well nowadays. And it's actually, like, explaining the player how the game mechanics work. That is the, like, one thing is that a good tutorial on a game and something that explains, like, some mechanic in the games that you play really well is something that I very strongly appreciate. If it's not over the nose too much, you know? If it's, like, explained, like, idiotically, then it's, you know, it's, like, on the nose at that point. But if it's done well, then it's totally fine.